Hey friendos, how's it going? It's the Enforcer here, and I want to talk about the upcoming NHL season, and it's going to be a season unlike any other that the National Hockey League has been involved in. First of all, it's going to be truly divisional based, meaning that you are only in the regular season of, I believe it's about 50 games, 52 games or so. 56 games, something like that. Somebody in the comments correct me, but they will all be against divisional opponents. Meaning if there are 8 teams in your division, you're going to be playing the 7 other teams for the whole regular season. And it's going to have a lot of a baseball vibe, where it's going to be series, where one team is going to fly in and then play one game, have a day off, and then play another game with that exact same team. So there could be a lot of bitterness growing through the season, but also it is paramount not to get on a slide, because every game you're playing, you're sliding up or down the roster on the standings, depending on how things are going. Now I'm going to start here with what is being deemed, and I know that they have corporate names for that, but they're not sponsoring me, so forget it. I'm just calling it the West, okay? And and once again, because the borders are closed and they want no international travel between Canada and the United States, that means that for the first time, I think since like the early 20s, there is an all-Canadian division where every Canadian team will only be playing every other Canadian team. And that's going to be amazing for Canada, because that's really what draws in their money, is when Toronto's playing Edmonton or Edmonton's playing Montreal, and it's all that. That's when they get the biggest eyeballs on it. So all of the American teams within their divisions will be playing each other. So I just wanted to go through a little quick primer of how I think it may go down. But once again, anybody who says they have any idea what's going on for this season and this team's going to win this because of that, we already seen Dallas has 6 players and 2 staff members that got COVID, and then they had to delay their season for 2 weeks. So who knows if that happens to some team as the playoffs get around, or somebody gets injured and then also a whammy of not being able to play, and then they got to change schedules. Who knows what's going on? But I just wanted to get, if there are any friendos out here, just to have a discussion about hockey. So I'm going to go what I think is the least likely to make the playoffs. There's going to be 4 teams of this batch here that are going to make the playoffs. I'm going to start with the least likely one that I think it's going to be, and it's going to be the Anaheim Ducks. Now the Anaheim Ducks, beautiful 25th anniversary jersey here, but I think they are in a complete rebuild. They are looking forward to the future. They're looking to get through a lot of their core, who has gotten them through a lot of playoff pushes, a lot of playoff games, a lot of playoff victories, deep into playoffs, starting to wind down, starting to get a little bit older. Going to have to start getting that mix in, and they're completely and fully into that mix right now. So Anaheim, I don't really see them being able to make the playoffs. If they do, then they do. But me seeing how hockey was last year and the team they put together and who they will have to face, it's a long shot at best. Now, a little bit above them, but still on that same path, that is the Los Angeles Kings. Young team, had the number 2 pick, have Byfield, probably going to make the squad, but they still have that mix of the old guys that got them the cups: Doughty, Quick, Brown. But I don't know if they can. But if there's any year that they could make a push, because it's less games, they still have a lot of that core that got them far on that team. These guys could make the playoffs, but I don't see it happening. All right, and we give these guys a little bit of shine. So I'm going to run out of space here. So if you feel I'm disrespecting one of your teams by laying another one on there, I apologize. Now, one that shocked me last year that did as poorly as they did, and I think that's going to continue, and it's not no slight of them. It's just the other competition that got imported into this division because the borders closed, and I think it's San Jose. San Jose they thought that they had their pieces in place to make another push when they got Erik Karlsson. The wheels kind of fell off, and I don't see a 1-year turnaround of them being one of the worst teams to making it in the playoffs, especially in this division. I don't see that happening. So I'm going to throw them as probably the third worst in the odds of making the playoffs. Now there's one more here that I think, now these three are long shots. Now there's two that I think one of these other two are going to get that last playoff spot. Now it is either between a languishing Arizona Coyotes, who lost Taylor Hall, lost their GM before the bubble playoffs even started, and they're in a bit of flux. They're in a bit of cap hell right now. But they got great goaltending. Great goaltending may be able to save you here to get you in the playoffs, but I don't know about that. So we'll see. I'm interested to see what they can do. I will be pulling for them. And then the other one that could take that fourth spot is the Minnesota Wild. Minnesota Wild, I think they probably had a better chance of making it in this division than they would have in the old Central, the way it was laid out. But still, if they make it, I don't see how far they're getting. Now from there, what's left are three heavy hitters. All three of these next teams could be Stanley Cup contenders. They could be holding that trophy at the end if we get that far. Okay? Now, I'm going to go in the order that I think is a possibility of it. And it's no slight to any of these teams. Once again, any one of these teams could make the playoffs because we just do not know this year. St. Louis. 1 year removed from their miraculous playoff push. A lot of the pieces are still there. They don't have Pietrangelo anymore, but they still have Binnington. Riley's your captain now. This team could absolutely yank another one together and drive that team into a deep playoff push. But I think they are making the playoffs, probably a 2, maybe a 3 seed, possibly even a 1. Any one of these next two, along with these, could win the West, could be third. But honestly, you catch injuries at the wrong time, you take a slide at the wrong time, you could be completely out, and one of these other teams that I said was not an afterthought but a long shot could possibly get in if they just squeak together some wins. Second, who I honestly thought in the bubble was going to win it before goalie bugs hit them, that's Colorado Avalanche. Colorado Avalanche, good, young, strong core, been playing together for a long time. I could see these guys holding up a cup. I could see these guys going to the finals. I could see a deep playoff push from the Colorado Avalanche this year, if everything holds up. And lastly, who I think right now, before the puck has even started, who I think is going to win the West, and that's going to be the Vegas Golden Knights. They've got Leonard, Fleury as your goaltending core. You picked up Pietrangelo. You weakened the Blues. You helped yourself out. Yeah, you shipped off Nate Schmidt to Vancouver, but still Pietrangelo is an upgrade. And you had to get rid of Stastny. You're a little thin up the middle. Hopefully Glass or Waugh can step up. You still got that hard charging fourth line, those grinders that just grind out and irritate people. And I think that you're going to be back to back playing teams almost like in a playoff situation. I think you could possibly intimidate a lot of teams with that last line, and they're not afraid to throw down the gloves. They're fun, they're flashy. I am a fan of the Vegas Golden Knights, and I think right now I'm gonna go with Vegas winning the West. Colorado is a second, St. Louis is a third, and honestly, between these two, between Minnesota and Arizona, it could be a toss-up, whichever one of those. But honestly, San Jose gets it clicking, they could easily be that fourth one. If the Kings find the fountain of youth, get clicking, they could do it. They could make the playoffs, they could make a push. Hell, they were the 8th seed when they won their Stanley Cup, their first Stanley Cup. They rode quick all the way to a championship. What's to say in this modified, shortened up season that the Kings couldn't do it? Or somebody else riding their goaltender all the way to a Stanley Cup. So thank you, friendos, for sitting through this. If you guys have not liked, commented, subscribed, please go on and do so. It helps me out. I'm on that road to 1,000 subscribers, hopefully to get a couple pennies out of this stuff one day. If not, that's fine. I just enjoy chatting about hockey. So for that being said, the West preview is in the books. And friendos, I thank you so much for watching. You guys have yourselves a wonderful day. Wednesday, hockey's back. Be on the lookout. All right, friendos, have a good one. Bye.